Continuing our look at Hasbro exclusive Cybertron Scout figures, we have Shortround, who seems to be, I don't know, some kind of Cybertronian toilet. I mean, that's a pretty strange alt mode, but hey, his name is Shortround. They are short and they are around. What? He's not. Okay, never mind. You didn't see that. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking there. Of course he's a hovercraft. I mean, what else? What do you mean? So yeah, we went seafaring with the new Scout class figure, giving the vehicles in the line a little bit more variety, as we've only had a couple of boats in the Unicron trilogy. Well, 3 of them, now that I think of it. So yeah, Shortround is something of a very futuristic style hovercraft with these big turbines in the back for thrust, cast in gray and off-white, as well as a very baby blue plastic. It's very, very strange colors for a Decepticon. There's not a whole lot of like the typical evil shades going on here, though he does have a little bit of Decepticon purple hitting here and there, so I guess he has something that going. The detailing on here is pretty nice. He's got plenty of sculpted detailing for his size, a lot of little nooks and crannies and grooves, making it look like a pretty serious vehicle of sorts. In particular, I do like these up here, spray painted in gold and trimmed in the gray. Definitely a nice detail poking through. You also have that gold kind of detailing along the sides. Nice little bits of detail to break up that off-white, which is good, as well as some metallic baby blue in the front. You can get a little bit more of the purple for the windows, so he does have plenty of color going on despite his size. Nothing going on in the back, though. Nothing really. Not a whole lot of color along the sides or anything. I would have expected something, because this is a pretty broad piece of plastic to have no deco whatsoever. You get a little bit of gold there, but that's not quite what it's meant for. So yeah, beyond that, not a whole lot here to speak of. He does have a port on the top where you can actually mount his gun. I was happy that Cybertron Scouts were pretty good about having some kind of accessory weapon. Overall, not bad. He does have some wheels to him, so he gets a bit of a roll going. Now, of course, those big turbines in the back, that's mostly for the gimmick, where you can see the cyber key slot in the back. We go ahead and take the cyber key to it. It's a typical Earth key, as you can see. Man, haven't used the gimmick in a while. A little bit tight, as you can see by the dust flying off. Okay, a little bit of weird visual effect. I didn't expect that. But yeah, pretty simple flip-out missiles, and this actually works pretty well for giving him a more heavily armed look. Oh my god, hang on a second. This is way too tight. Way too tight. Mental note, clean things out internally as well as externally before reviewing. So yeah, this gives him a pretty heavily armed look for a hovercraft. And when you think of like how a hovercraft moves, this would be pretty intimidating to have this thing kind of going sideways, strafing with rockets and lasers. So yeah, I guess that does make him quite Decepticon for a hovercraft. So we'll go ahead and take off the weapons and flip those back into position, and we'll go ahead and get ready for the robot mode, which starts by taking these and folding them out like so. Now, I'm not going to show you how to make the toilet mode. I think that's it's a little fun adventure for you to find out all on your own. But yeah, that's a goofy little fan mode that's pretty well known. If this is your first time seeing it, man, the start of this video was confusing for you. So we get those into position, move these blue pieces in. There we go. And the head flips up and twists around to create the final look for his robot mode. Lots going on here, just making sure everything is in the right alignment. There we go. So yeah, pretty simple transformation, but then again, he is a Scout class toy. However, he does come up pretty freaking unique as far as physical appearance and detailing goes. He does have plenty of new exposed detailing. A lot of the best stuff is brought to the forefront. And yeah, he definitely has something unique going on with those arms. But as usual, we're going to start by taking a closer up look at the head. Closer up? I don't know. I don't even know my own wordage anymore. So, we do have a decent little head. He's got kind of a scuba mask thing going on, and big, bright yellow eyes, almost visor-esque, really, if the camera will focus on it. So yeah, this was not a bad design. I liked the head. I like those 3 tall crests there. 3 big horns giving his helmet a pretty sharp look. This is where I'm starting to get a little bit more Decepticon vibe. I almost wonder if this guy was like almost designed to be a Sea Spray at some point, just because, hey, hovercraft. But never did happen, maybe for the best, because he does go in his own direction. The identity of him, of course, being those gigantic claws rather than your typical hands that you would expect on a Transformer. Gives him a unique look, definitely makes him stand out quite a bit, and hey, that skirt having something unusual in the transformation actually does work out pretty well for him. Like I said, he does come off pretty unique, and Cybertron being a toy line full of variety, this adds a little bit more. So the detailing itself, we have more of the gold here in the chest. It's a little bit brighter than what's along the sides and tops of the vehicles, and it matches the fins down here inside those sections. More purple, of course. Now we can see it along the chest as well as in the thighs. It also brings the windshield purple to the forefront, making it more of a secondary color now. It does kind of minimize the blue, keeping it back there, but it still has little bits here and there. If anything, now the off-white has been minimized while the dark gray's taken over. I like the detailing here. I like those little extra layers in the chest. It makes him look like he's got some kind of internal working going on. So, overall, yeah, not a bad job for the size. And yeah, those gigantic claws. Interesting, a vehicle mode that has like no ability to go underwater is forming some kind of crab claw, which is typically at the bottom of the water. But hey, I will leave the irony to the designers. Overall, though, does give him a unique look all around. It's kind of strange having such a thin midsection here with such massive arms. It does look like something is a little bit off, but hey, your name is Shortround. You would expect something to be off just a wee bit now, wouldn't you? For articulation, we have the ball joint at the neck, which has a pretty good range of motion, though these two things get in the way and make it kind of hard to turn the head the way you want sometimes. You do have a little bit of a hinge here in the torso to get the arm to go up and down. But other than that, you have a ball joint in the shoulder. Very limited, unfortunately. Once again, it's not cut the way it should be to get full maximum range off of it. You do have a bicep swivel as well as an elbow that hits 90 degree. That's good. You still have that slide if you want the claw to close down on anything, but it can't open or close, which would have been cool. Nothing at the waist, but you do have ball joints in the hips, though unfortunately, again, not quite cut the way it should be to get you all the range you would actually want. That's about as wide as they're going to be able to go. The knee at least has full 180 degree bend should you need it. Nothing really to do in the feet. You have the transformation joint, and that's pretty much it. Pretty much good just to balance the any pose you happen to do. But it does leave him a little bit brick-ish. He doesn't have a whole lot of articulation going on. Certainly not as much as Recluse had last time, but he doesn't do too bad. I mean, for the size, for the price point, it's still not a bad job. So let's see what else. We do have at least a few things else we can do. He does have the little grooves there, so he can hold his gun. You might need to slide the claw forward a little bit to clear the elbow. Because it's on the inside of the arm, though, he kind of side holster it. This is a gangster Decepticon. We've actually figured it out. Holds the gun sideways and everything. So, grew up on the mean rivers of somewhere. I don't know. Iacon, I guess. I don't know. I'm going somewhere with this, and it's not going with me. But yeah, it's weird. I would really have rather him be able to hold his gun. Like, I'd like a mounting point up here, so I can have it parallel to his elbow, and so I have a little bit more range of where I can aim it. As it stands, I can only aim it forward, and only at the goofy handling method. And then, yeah, of course, the key slot works still, so we can actually launch his missiles over his shoulders, just in case you need that. That's kind of classic as far as Transformers missile placement goes, so it kind of works out for him. So that is Cybertron Shortround. Definitely unique entry thanks to not only an interesting vehicle mode that rarely gets used, but also because of those gigantic crab claws in a toy line that's filled with characters known for unique proportions and design elements. He definitely stands out among them with some of his own. The articulation is a little limited, transformation is a little simple, but the gimmick is decent, gets out of the way, and I think he has a bit of a charm to him. So, while not the strongest in the Scout class for Cybertron, definitely not shabby either. This is definitely one to add to your Decepticon ranks, or for that rare aquatic transformer that this almost never seems to happen these days. We do have one coming out, at least one that I can think of, so, I don't know. Maybe the high seas are making a comeback.